I am feeling a lot better. Am I healthy? Oh, hell no. But I'm alive.
Damn it!
Oh. Geez. Thanks, I guess? What's got your panties in a twist?
Margaret and I have been trying out different card games. I am not liking Riftbound, but I want to beat her senseless.
I should learn that game. I know it had some jank because of one card causing infinite growth thing, kind of, I think. But they eventually banned either the card that caused it or the combination of cards. I can't recall. And I just do not like League of Legends enough to have any sort of desire to try out the card game. You ever notice that so many card games are color-based? Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Riftbound, I'm pretty sure MetaZoo had that thing as well. Arguably, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the same way with the attributes, but the game is not focused around that. I'm pretty sure Lorcana is also color-based.
You know, the phrasing of this conversation can lead to some trouble in your timeline, right?
Yeah, it could about 5 years ago, but at this point I think people who don't scream into voids are pretty chill about weird phrasings, especially given, as nerds, we all understand the context of these various phrases. What kind of deck are you running against Margaret anyway?
We're just using starter decks since we're both trying to learn the game. Fiora and Rumble. She's using the Rumble one.
I don't know what that actually means. I should look into the card game. I can think of 4 card games I've actually played. No, 5. Yu-Gi-Oh! I did Pokemon as a kid, Chaotic, done Vanguard a couple of times, and a couple of games of Digimon, the latest version, obviously. I should probably start moving into the subject. We've talked about something for way too long that has literally nothing to do with this video's subject.
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure, sorry. Going over the card list to see what I can do with this starter deck to make it better.
Good luck. Anywho, I'm not as much of a video game guy as I used to be, but I am very much a computers guy. Most of the world nowadays works off of PCs and internet access. Even isolated locations tend to be touched by the wonders of the internet. Running TTRPGs online is very capable, and I do it, in fact. There's a lot of different ways to play a game online now, and you need to be very careful. Roll20 is probably the thing everyone knows. It has a lot of options, but the whole system is an absolute mess. It saves every picture involved. So if you run more than 3 games, it can fill your account's library up fast. Add in the fact that the system has monthly subscriptions and purchases of books and even the cosmetics purchases. I'm not saying they shouldn't be selling things, that's absolutely necessary, unless you want more ads on the website than on any journalism website. Is there a solution for the company? Well, not that I can really see. You just need to be careful and learn about how the website works. Like, I learned how to clear that website's library. There's a lot more to it too. I learned that you can replace the dice on the site with cards, which makes it possible to play Saloon on it. And personally, I prefer hex maps to squares, and that's a lot easier to find on the system. I did it accidentally, in fact. But what are other options? Well, Tabletop Simulator is actually a good idea. Buy the game, download mods for it. I know it's available on Steam, but I don't know about other systems. Now, the restriction to PC is unfortunately a major point to this sort of discussion. But if the system used is available on PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo, or even usable on, say, a tablet or laptop, that makes it even better. But Tabletop Simulator has some issues too. Mainly how things don't really snap into place so well unless the guy making the mod knows what they're doing. There's also ways to get things like Hero Forge models into TTS, and I think another program I have, but we'll talk about that real soon. Of course, some people want more three-dimensional options, and there's a lot of things to use for that. One that I know is Tailspire, and that's the one that Hero Forge at least used to connect with. Of course, the 3D option is usually complex to all sin. I'm not good at 3D modeling, and I've been trying to teach myself how to do that, so we can sell models for our own games at Conqueror Creations. Now, the TTRPG environment models are much easier to do, but they can still be a bit tedious. For example, I try and make my environments different from one another. Go from cities to deserts to forests to jungles. All that was just what was done in my Pathfinder game in 4 different weeks in a row. But with this, I need to figure out each individual piece, the various brushes for outdoor environments, and all sorts of other janks, including positioning, rotation, and specific spot. All of this may be positive, and others may be negative. What you use ultimately is up to you, but I do want to point out the issues that exist. Now, what's an issue for one may be a positive for another. But some online TTRPG stuff can be absolute scams. I can think of a couple of programs I've bought on Steam that either no longer exist or are now abandonware, still in early access. One of which I remember actually really liking because it had piece snapping, including player models actually. That being said, the player models were essentially just the core rulebook races and D&Ds, but, early access. Another thing to keep note is that D&D 5e is unfortunately the default. I try my best to avoid Hasbro-owned properties entirely. A few I will give a slight pass to because it's more Hasbro licensed than Hasbro owned, like the Essence 20 games. But the default is obviously going to be the thing that most people play, the lowest common denominator. If an online system allows other systems to be done, or even just open mapping systems with different dice or card options, that I am very happy with. One of which my friend uses is Foundry, that allows you to purchase books in order to play other games, but it doesn't let you use anything that isn't in your personal purchase list. Those sort of things, though, are unfortunately very few and far between, but the ideas behind terrain maps are definitely for a certain player more than a certain game master. Mostly for those with issues with their brain where they can't visualize things. Yes, I called that an issue. Now, you probably want these in local games, but the scams exist here too. Hell, there's one that's been popping up on my Instagram feed like mad lately. Yes, I have an Instagram. No, I never post there. Don't bother. But this ad, Click Blocks, claims to have 1-inch blocks with magnets in each side to connect to each other. So I looked into this because the idea sounds good, but everyone I see talking about these things claims they do not work in any way, shape, or form. Let's think about this real quick. Magnets have polarity. Positive and negative can only connect to the opposite. So let's assume 3 sides are one and 3 sides are the other. That means that blocks need to align in certain ways or else they can't fit together right. Hell, they also show these blocks can be used to make little buildings and rooms full of magnets. And you have to fight magnet blocks to move your model around the inside. And they're all 1 inch on every side, despite the fact your model is usually 1.5 inches to 3 inches tall. Click Blocks is a full scam. So is a huge part of online tabletop options. In my opinion, Roll20 is the best option, and it's still got 1,000 problems that you'll need to figure out. Hell, the company at one point in, was it 2016 or 2017, saying that they didn't want white men involved in their website despite 90% of their customers being that. But they ain't the only ones who've done that up until recently, where people are now, well, companies are now backpedaling those statements. Anywho, be careful with any sort of options, because companies love to take advantage of the fact that friends can be made across the globe. Don't go into anything blindly, even if it is a free option. Remember, if it's free, you are the product. Now, I'm going to try and model pieces to fix a dual disk. Shove off!